Hello. How are you all? You know I am Professor H. Srikanth. You are familiar with my lectures in political theory that I have been uploading on my YouTube channel, Lecture Series in Political Theory. Last year when I uploaded my lecture on John Rawls' theory of justice, I promised to come out with another talk on Rawls' ideas on political liberalism. But because of some other preoccupation, it skipped off my mind. As my students reminded me again, I came out with this lecture. Rawls' idea of political liberalism is a continuation of his theory of justice. Hence, I request you to go through my earlier lecture on Rawls' theory of justice, so that we can avoid a repetition of the ideas. The link is available on the screen. The lecture helps to recall Rawls' key concepts: original position, veil of ignorance, two principles of justice, etc., which he discussed in his work, A Theory of Justice. Once you are familiar with them, it is easy to comprehend Rawls' conception of the idea of political liberalism. John Rawls' book, A Theory of Justice, opened up a Pandora's box, forcing the scholars of different philosophical persuasions to come out with their own ideas of justice. The book reinvigorated the discourse on the strengths and limitations of liberalism. Many critics considered Rawls' views too abstract, and hence not capable of addressing the practical problems of the Western liberal democracies. Rawls responded to some important critics. Further, he noticed that people have looked at his theory of justice as one more comprehensive political doctrine that competes with other rival liberal and non-liberal philosophical perspectives. He understood that some passages in his book creates confusions and hence felt the need for further elaboration. Challenges posed by pluralism and cultural diversity have also compelled him to orient his theory of justice to meet the political expedience of the times we live in. Hence, in the year 1993, Rawls came out with another book titled Political Liberalism, to provide a nuanced and comprehensive understanding of his idea of justice as fairness. Political liberalism does not contradict the original premises that he elaborated in his earlier work, A Theory of Justice. He holds on to his critique of utilitarianism and reiterates his idea of original position, where rational and reasonable individuals, under the veil of ignorance, chart out the two principles that guide the basic structure of a liberal polity. But in the book Political Liberalism, Rawls refrains from projecting his idea of justice as fairness as universal truth to be accepted and upheld by all. Rawls argues that his idea of justice as fairness is political in content, not metaphysical. It is not any comprehensive metaphysical philosophical doctrine of a good society. In his view, the public conception of justice in a constitutional democracy should be independent of philosophical and religious doctrines. Rawls realizes that in a democratic society which is inherently plural, there will be several comprehensive doctrines of good, each competing with the other. Some of them may be liberal doctrines and some non-liberal. They may be religious and some agnostic. Every doctrine or worldview has its own ideas, practices, and values. Each one has a certain conception of what is good and bad, and has its own idea of how a just society should be. The people in their private lives follow the comprehensive doctrines of their choice. However, in a democratic pluralistic polity, no comprehensive doctrine or worldview can embrace all its citizens. There cannot be one theory of justice acceptable to all its citizens. Given the political reality, Rawls looks for a political solution to bring together the people professing different comprehensive philosophical doctrines to agree to basic constitutional principles, institutions and practices. Rawls believes it is possible to devise such a structure as most comprehensive doctrines are rational and also reasonable. Reasonable pluralism enables individuals to hold diverse and incompatible worldviews and engage in public reasoning and public dialogue. Each individual or community realizes that there are others in the society who do not subscribe to their ideas of good, but they have to live with them. Notwithstanding the differences, each of them realizes that across the communities, there are certain commonalities in values, aspirations, and practices. These commonalities result in what Rawls identifies as overlapping consensus. The consensus over political values and principles becomes the basis for creating a basic constitutional framework outlining the social, political, and economic structures of a liberal polity. Public reason inherent in all individuals and communities enables the possibility of arriving at overlapping consensus on major issues of political concern. The overlapping consensus that Rawls advocates does not demand complete agreement among individuals on all issues. The agreement is only on the practical implications and on the outcomes of the principles they agree to abide by. Different people may have different reasons for supporting the principles, but all have a shared understanding of the principles that provide a just framework for a well-ordered society. Rawls seeks to establish a foundation for social cooperation and political stability by securing an overlapping consensus. Such an overlapping consensus is possible when individuals think beyond comprehensive doctrines and rely on public reasoning in political discourse. By ensuring a fair and inclusive democratic process, public reasoning provides a framework for deliberation and decision-making in a liberal democratic society. Rawls clarifies that political liberalism that he advocates is only for arriving at agreement over the principles of justice necessary for establishing basic structure. It acknowledges the importance of all reasonable philosophical doctrines in making us good human beings. Political liberalism does not own or repudiate totally any comprehensive philosophical doctrines that individuals and communities subscribe to. Rawls is aware of the presence of unreasonable comprehensive doctrines which do not engage in public reason and hence cannot become part of political liberalism. But Rawls does not view even such doctrines as threats, as their influence is limited. Most communities in liberal democratic societies subscribe to doctrines that are reasonable and responsible. They acknowledge the need to arrive at a consensus with others based on agreed principles and view their own philosophical doctrines as dynamic and rational. Liberal belief in toleration and mutual respect provide legitimacy and stability to the polity that the citizens seek to build. Rawls is not sure whether his project applies to non-liberal societies or not, but he thinks political liberalism makes sense to all plural and liberal societies, characterized by moral, religious and philosophical diversity. It allows for reasonable accommodation of different beliefs, and also ensures a shared commitment to the foundational principles of justice that guide public policies and institutions. To sum up, the significance of Rawls' idea of political liberalism lies in the fact that it does not view his theory of justice as a comprehensive doctrine that expects everyone to approve and subscribe to it. He presents political liberalism as a political strategy to address the problems of plurality and diversity existing in the modern societies. It seeks only minimum consensus across a broad spectrum of ideologies and philosophical doctrines over issues such as structure and functions of the government, the rights and responsibilities of the citizens, etc., that are vital to the formation of political community, and leaves the rest to the people's discretion. Going beyond the liberal idea of tolerance, his doctrine makes an effort to balance political unity and cultural diversity. This is all I have to say about John Rawls' idea of political liberalism. Hope you found the lecture useful. If you have any comments or doubts or difference of opinion, write in the comments section. Recently, I have come out with a book titled From Classical Liberalism to Neoliberalism. It is available on Amazon Kindle and paperback editions. In this book I have discussed the contributions of different classical and contemporary liberal thinkers and introduced to you some of the major traditions that are critical of liberalism. You may get access to the book. I have been making efforts to teach political theory in a simple language that can be understood by any postgraduate student or any scholar or activist interested in political theory. If you like my lectures, buy my book and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to introduce the book and the YouTube channel to your friends and like-minded scholars interested in political theory. Now, let me take leave. Thank you very much. See you soon with another lecture on another topic in political theory. Bye for now.